Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guys show.
Happy Canada Day!
Happy Canada Day! It's a special Canada Day edition. I have a cold. My words do not come out as well as I want them to. That's my excuse, and my only excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
You know what? I realize I actually sound much more interested here than I did on that video that I posted on our YouTube page.
You sounded like a robot.
Yeah, you know, I had that answer machine like that for ages, and people used to say, man, you sound like a robot. So, yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's the mask. It's the mask.
Gotta be the mask. That's Absolutely. Why I'm wearing a different mask today.
Absolutely. So, he's saying, I haven't sang. I'm not sure I want to sing.
Well, if you want, I could always sing again.
Hell no. Okay, everybody. No, I got nothing.
Alright. Well then, in that case, from the 7th Wind of Thunder, we'll bring you lots of wonder.
It's the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show. Oh, God, I cannot do that. I can only do the last part. I can't do the rest. So, we obviously have lots to talk about. Yeah, Marvel just came out with 45 comics that they are making. 45, and that's not even... There's a lot more that they have not even released yet. We got There's 46 that we have to talk about.
46.
46 but the 46 is the most special one. It means a lot to me.
Are you talking about the KFC comic book that is coming out?
47.
Featuring the Colonel himself?
Yes, the Colonel is coming back for a special comic book. Only at San Diego Comic-Con.
Only at San Diego Comic-Con.
It's a special thing only at San Diego Comic-Con.
I went off and read that.
Or they're just releasing it there. I'm not sure. I see KFC, I see comic book, and I just shake my head.
And you know what? And I just see KFC, and I want to shake my head.
Pretty much. KFC makes me sick.
You know, honestly, anybody down in the United States, I'm telling you, I've never been so jealous because all we really have up here is KFC, and you guys have got, like, Popeye's chicken down there.
Popeye.
Which I was down...
Popeye up here is, vitamins and supplements.
Vitamins and supplements up here. So it's kind of either, Chicken Chef, which is actually pretty good. Although you can't find Chicken Chef outside of Manitoba as far as I know.
That's because Manitoba is the best.
Well, we also have Salisbury House up here, and...
That makes us the worst.
Exactly. So, but you know what? Next time I'm down in the States, I'm actually going to be going down to Minneapolis in October, and so Minneapolis, I really hope you guys have a Popeye's chicken down there, because, honestly...
He's going to be bringing me back some.
I'm not sure I can get some across the border.
Bribe the border guard with chicken.
I might get thrown in jail for that.
I will take the chicken. So, anyways, we will talk about 45. Some of them will be quick. Say the name, move on to the next.
Right.
There are others we will talk more about. So the very first one is Invincible Iron Man, pretty much self-explanatory. It's Iron Man.
It's Iron Man. Who
apparently is invincible.
Well, I think we sort of have to blame Stan Lane for these things, because he and Jack Kirby were creating a lot of these characters, they didn't just want to say Iron Man. They always wanted to add, an adjective, I think it's an adjective to it to try to make it seem more important. The Uncanny X-Men, the Amazing Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk.
But the Hulk is incredible.
Well, that's an understatement.
And Spider-Man is amazing.
Yes, true.
Iron Man is not invincible.
No, he's not.
So, the other one is A-Force. I don't know much about this. I don't know if my cohort does.
It's actually, I think, the first time I've ever heard of it.
Okay, so it's obviously a brand new one.
I will admit, going forward, I don't know a ton about comics. So, I'm actually, just checking out some Constantine, which is this series I'm reading through Vertigo. So yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so keep going.
The other one is an all-new, all-different Avenger. Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, Vision, Miss Marvel, Miles Morales, which is the new African-American Spider-Man. So it's very interesting to see him actually included in the Avengers.
Well, when you consider that Peter Parker Spider-Man is an Avenger, he's both.
Yeah, but this is a whole different version of Spider-Man, so it kind of it does seem a little awkward that they're still running Peter Parker Spider-Man.
I think they might actually be even in the same universe. Now, for people who don't quite understand what we're talking about a month, 2 months ago, Marvel did a new version of the Secret Wars where they pretty much wiped out almost every one of their characters, and that way they could go off and they could bring these beloved heroes back, but have different people.
It was a rebranding.
It was like almost it's like a rebranding of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, in some cases they have more than one person, as a character. In this case, we have both Miles and Peter Parker as Superman. I believe there's like Wolverine and his daughter are both Logan, and his daughter are both Wolverines in this new universe.
Yeah, it's a good universe. Also included in that one is Nova. They're also doing sorry about that. Uncanny Avengers. Spider-Man, Quicksilver, Brother Voodoo, Steve Rogers, which is ironic because they don't have the Captain America tag with them.
I'm not sure that's necessarily some to imply something. I mean, it may be about the early days of Steve Rogers before he became a part of the Super Soldier program, but again, it just may be where they're trying to, talk about how Steve Rogers is trying to cope with living in the 21st century when he was, a war hero.
Well, they do mention quite a lot about different Captain America, so it's possible this is after Steve Rogers stops being Captain America.
They actually sort of teased in the Civil War comics that Steve Rogers was dead, and that Bucky actually became Captain America. Yeah. And then they went off and showed that Steve Rogers was actually alive, and it was just a whole trick by the Red Skull. But I believe Bucky was allowed to keep a version of the Captain America persona for himself on behest of Steve Rogers. So there was sort of two Captain Americas at one point.
Yeah. And they're talking about making a third one soon.
Well, it's not surprising. I mean, when you look at it, there's now a woman Thor, who actually was introduced before the new Secret Wars occurred, and so it's a completely open universe. And we had been discussing this because the head of Marvel Studios went up and said that eventually they're going to have to bring in new actors to play the comic book
his
heroes.
words weren't so much exactly that they would have to, that they'll want to.
And my thing is, I'm wondering if perhaps we'll see some version of the Secret Wars where they'll just go off and sort of have it at the beginning of a movie, and somehow they'll be able to use this to allow other people, instead of Tony Stark, maybe it'll be some guy named like Eddie Graham. I don't know.
I think Marvel is finally starting to look at the future and setting it up so they can continue pumping out movies.
Absolutely. Honestly, if you look at it, they're currently the Marvel Cinematic universe is currently in stage 3 of their saga, which is supposed to end with a 2-part, Affinity Wars, which is going to have all the characters that Marvel has introduced since the first Iron Man movie. And so, it seems, leading up to this, that this is almost going to be the climax. So, I can imagine what they might do is after that, give it a couple of years, it might do a reboot, or maybe do something along the lines of the Secret War, so that they could just restart and go a different way.
It'll be interesting to see the direction they go. Also in it is Rogue, Inferno, or Human Torch. They say both. It's one or the other. A brand new female character. They are not revealing name, who they are, what they are. Just brand new female. And of course, Deadpool.
Deadpool, which, honestly, Deadpool to me is probably the single coolest superhero in the Marvel Universe.
Oh, I agree. I'm just not sure how they're going to pull him into the Avengers.
Well, that's just it. I mean, in the comics, they would be able to do a lot of things.
Yeah. It's
just, in the cinematic universe, they won't be able to do anything with.
No, but, it's going to be strange. There's a new Avengers, which is kind of confusing people. I know it's confusing me a lot. Sunspot, Squirrel Girl, Hawkeye, Songbird, Hulking, and Wiccan. Now, to me, that just seems like a bunch of birds.
Well, I've heard of many of these characters. Squirrel Girl, I mean, honestly, when I hear that, I think of that character from Drawn Together, that cartoon series that I think was part of Adult Swim.
What's confusing me is how they're tying Hawkeye into all this as a new Avenger. Hawkeye was part of the other Avengers, so it's going to be interesting how they play that through. Comic books, you never know. They have lots of unique stuff.
That's just it. I mean, in the comic book world, they go off and they go off and reboot something, after a while.
Yeah, they reboot a lot in comics.
I mean, which honestly, when you die in comics, you don't necessarily die. I remember many years ago, there was a member of, I think it was Excalibur, or maybe it was X-Force, I can't remember, a character named Strong Guy, and he dies from a massive heart attack. And they went off and brought back, and to see, says, Strong Guy Reborn, they actually showed, him wearing a little bonnet and, a diaper and, and a stroller, and he's like, seriously, guys, or something like that. So no one really dies.
No, not in the comic book world.
Not in the comic book world. You just get rebooted.
Ultimates with Black Panther, Monica Rambeau, Blue Marvel, Miss America, Captain Marvel, and Galactus.
Now, there's a character right there that I really wish that we could have, the movies had done a better job with.
Oh, absolutely. They did awful.
It was just absolutely hideous. And I'm not really sure, whether we'll ever see, them getting a second chance at that character or not, because of how he's connected.
I think eventually they might try to redo it.
Yeah,
Come on, they gave Spider-Man a third chance.
Well, yes, but I mean, they went off and are working with, Sony, and it's working with Marvel now on that. And so that's, I think there. But I don't know, because Galactus is so connected, with, of course, Silver Surfer and with Fantastic Four.
I think Silver Surfer was done wrong.
Well, again, I actually enjoyed that movie more than I enjoyed the first one. Although I really didn't like the fact that, we didn't really see Galactus. It was more like, Silver Surfer fighting a storm at the end of the movie.
Yes.
And that always kind of ticked me off.
Yeah, no. So they're also doing Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Sam Wilson, Captain America. So brand new Captain America. The Totally Awesome Hulk. So there we go. There's the descriptions again.
Yeah, the adjectives, yeah.
The Mighty Thor.
The Mighty Thor.
Scarlet Witch.
Which could be very interesting.
I'm looking forward to that one. Miss Marvel, which is another one that was always really well done every time they did it. Illuminati. It's one that kind of raises a few eyebrows of what they're actually going to do. I didn't really see much description on it.
Yeah, see, and again, I will admit I'm not the biggest comic book fan, so I'm not sure how much they've had, Illuminati involved in